get yourself. Said, rock me, baby. Rock me all night long. I said, rock me, pretty baby, yeah, till the break of dawn. I said, rock me, pretty baby, till my back ain't got no bone.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. There is Chelsea in the darkness. It's good to see you, Chelsea.
Hey, everybody.
How'd you like my deadly harp playing?
I don't think it was the right key.
Yeah, that's why I put it down. I was like, yeah, I'll probably get in trouble. Somebody will write a comment, hey, you're ruining his song.
I don't own the rights to that song. That was definitely a little bit of a cover to start off with. Woo!
Yeah. So what's up, Chelsea? Tell us how it's going. What's happening? What's the haps?
I am like a chicken with its head cut off, or legs, whichever way you want to picture that, or both. Yeah, today has been such an interesting day. I woke up late, drove my son to school, then I rushed over to Trent's to record a few of some vocals, harmonies with my daughter. Then I dropped off my daughter, and then I had to go and what did I do? Oh, I dropped off my daughter, went and cleaned my car really quick, then picked up my sister to go drop off my niece, and then go back for her son, drop them off no, I have to pick up my son. Yeah, it's been a crazy day.
Wow. Uber service.
Very, very crazy day, but
Okay. So
I feel super productive.
It looks like you're on the road right now. Where are you on the road? Are you guys driving right now? What are you up to?
Actually, no, I'm just sitting here in the driveway of my aunt's place so that my kids can play inside and I could be here, and then my daughter is not then sleeping in the car and me trying to drive around and do the podcast at the same time.
Wow. That's a pretty wild schedule, I'll tell you.
That's life hacks.
Commitment.
Sure.
That's the life of a single mom, you know?
Yes, for sure. It sounds like Superwoman time, for sure.
And I gotta say, Amy did really well in the studio. Like, we gave her some headphones, gave her a phone, and asked her to be quiet, and she did for like the first pass through. And then even when she didn't, and she was running around, she was doing it quietly. So I couldn't even really hear her in the background. She's 3, but I'd see her like in the peripheral of my eye run by, and then a ball would fly by.
Yeah, but half the time when I would do my live videos, Amy would actually be playing and running around or running by and stuff. So she knew well enough, you know, because like when I would do my live videos and singing and stuff, she would know well enough not to come and jump in front of the videos. Every now and again, I guess maybe you would see her for a few seconds or something, but for the most part, she was always like quiet. And if she got tired of that, that's when you knew like, okay, it's time to end the video now. And yeah, so I wasn't really all that worried. I just kind of thought that maybe because it was a new place that she would just want to touch everything and jump around and like jump on Trent and everything while we're trying to record. But she did really good for a 3-year-old.
Yes, definitely.
That's awesome. Well, you know, we seem to be getting a lot of, people that are interested in to be on the show. So we just want to send a shout out to all the people that are sending in, requests to be on the show now. It's starting to get a bit of a following here. And
we want to thank Kristen McKay. Next week. Kristen McKay from Manitoba. Chevy Bolio reached out to me, and I believe he's going to do the 15th of March. I didn't confirm it yet, but I'll talk to him this week. So that's Chevy Bolio. He's on the radio, country singer from Northwest Territories, lives in Calgary, second generation musician, just like our guest today, Brianna Lazat, and her dad, who she grew up playing music with, and her grandmother was a musician as well. So today we're going to do a lot of talking about generational musicians in the Indigenous community.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
That's really cool.
How was your day?
My day was okay as well. I was quite busy. I'm just getting to the final pieces of completing my documentary now.
Nice.
I've sent the final piece in to get checked out by the grant board now. So I have my first draft done, but I have to kind of wait until they do that finishing search here in the spring. So in the springtime, they're going to do the finishing searches for the unmarked graves on Gordon's First Nation. So that's what I'm going to be. That's what I'm working on right now. And then also, I just found out that I might have a position at the Banff Center for 3 months doing filming people that have been there past and present since 1970 for the 50th anniversary. So we'll see. It's not a for sure yet, but it's looking pretty good. And I want to send a big shout out to my honey, Joanna, for hooking me up with that opportunity. Yeah.
Sweet.
Awesome. I have one quick little announcement to make before we bring on our guests. This is going to look a little bit ridiculous, but our previous guests, Will and Justin with One Nation, we had started a fundraiser. I'm in charge of this, and if you'll just kind of give me a second to just kind of show you. I'm totally kidding.
That is awesome.
See, as you can tell, there's like some names already on the board. And we've got lots of squares left if you guys are interested.
Tell us the first place winner, second place winner, and third place. How much did you get?
How much? That's all I want to know.
The first place winner is $500. Second place is $300. Third place is $200. So there's 3 winners. I thought it'd just be fair to kind of split them up. I know some people prefer to have just the one prize of $1,000 because it is a 50-50 board, but sometimes like people enjoy the ones winning the smaller prizes or whatever.
Oh yeah, $200 in the pocket on Friday or whenever you're going to draw
Do you
it.
give out participation ribbons for this?
It's for future events and costs and stuff for our gatherings and whatnot. So we'll be talking about, MMIW, Every Child Matters, the graves of the children, the residential school children, like everything. And it's an opportunity for all different people of, color, walks of life, religions, cultures and stuff to just kind of come together as one nation. So that's why it's
that's
One
awesome.
Nation. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know that did you get a chance to go to that event on that was held? What was it in the mall? I think was it held?
Yeah. So no, I didn't. I was looking forward to meeting Chubby Cree, and I, of course, could not seem to function past what was right in front of me that entire day. Actually, for a few days, it was like that. So it was like I was double booking for other things, and I was saying I was being a yes person, I guess, basically.
Yeah.
And then I totally forgot about the event, and I'm like, oh no, but I did watch some of it live and whatnot. So yeah, it's really cool to have Chubby Cree a part of our group, and I'm looking forward to doing some music with him, and we're looking to record a few songs, and yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I was actually I was at the in Calgary doing a meeting for the Calgary International Blues Fest there. So I'll be participating as a vendor and also a performing artist.
Wow.
But I wasn't able to make it, though. I wanted to make it, and I remember that the guest said that their event was right on the day that I had to take off. So it was just like, yeah. But hopefully, I know there's going to be a lot more events, and us as a podcast, that's what we support here is positivity and coming together in the community. And I think it's just wonderful that you're involved in something so positive. It's something we need.
That is correct. We need to get together. Oh, I see Brianna now we can get started with
Woo!
our guests if you guys want. And I just got to say that Chelsea did come, and she has been really good singing on my project. I too have a project that's coming out soon. I recorded an 8-song album that deals with the issues of Indigenous homelessness. So Chelsea's been great to do a bunch of background vocals, and everybody else that played on the record, Russell Schott, Ian Rossiter, my brother Bryce, James played harmonica. Oh, Jared Sound played piano on a few. It's just everybody came together and everybody played amazing things and sang amazing. So thank you guys all so much. So in the next couple months, I'll have a new project coming out. But let's bring in Brianna and her dad, Brian. Here we go. Hello.
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 Hi.
How is it going?
Good. How are you?
Great. It's good to see you guys. Thank you guys for coming on today and joining our podcast.
Welcome.
This is
Thank you for
interesting
having us.
with multiple people online. Like everybody's got to wait for their turn to talk. The thing is, Brianna and Brian, I've known for many years. Brian and his mom used to come to the jams that I played at when I first started playing music, and I've known Brianna since she was born. And I've watched her grow to be a great musician. So that's why we brought them here. We want to talk a little bit about generational musicians in the Indigenous community. So why don't we start with Brian? You can introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself. And then when you're done, Brianna, you can jump in and we'll go back and forth like that.
Sure. I am Brian Lazat. I started playing music when I was a little kid. This was due to my mom. She was into music. Her cousins had a band as well. And on my dad's side, he didn't play music. He wasn't gifted too much with music-wise, but he's a great artist. Does leather work and stuff like that. But his cousins used to come around, and they'd travel the North Country, and they'd have a band called the Native Sons, and Howard Lazat was also part of that. So there was 3 brothers who had all these kids, and there were more brothers and a sister, but all the whole cousins, a lot of them played up around Fort Vermilion and where we came from. My mom wanted to play. She grew up with music as well with her cousins and stuff in the High Prairie area. So she also had a band when I was growing up called the Country Winders. She played around Peace River area and the bars and the typical routes that go on with a small band. And someone who just likes playing and trying to be involved in music. So she brought her kids. There was 3 of us, and made me sing when I was 6 years old to records and stuff like that. And we all grew up learning to sing, and so Mom started us all off like that with the singing and the music just in the house and stuff like that. We always had the cousins coming around. They'd stop by, clean up, go to their gig. And then after their gigs and stuff, they'd stop and they'd play music for hours, usually all night, into the wee hours of the morning. And they'd be visiting and laughing. And that was one of their sayings. They'd tell the same jokes, laugh at the same stuff. And then they'd end up saying, "Talk about we laugh."
I just have a quick question for you. Are you guys looking to adopt a mother and 2 children, just by any chance? Like we're good.
She wants you to adopt her, Brian, is what she said.
Who's looking to get adopted?
Well, she wants a musical family, I think.
Yes, I need a musical family.
My sound went down here.
Oh, we can still hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I've lost my sound a little bit here, guys. So
Okay, well we'll turn it to Brianna, and we'll let you fix that, and I'll bring you back in a minute here. Okay, Brianna, your turn.
So just gonna introduce myself, I guess.
Just tell us your name and what you're doing and how you started playing music, all those fun things.
Sounds good. My name is Brianna Lizotte, and I am a Métis fiddle player, currently going to MacEwan University for the Bachelor of Music degree that they have there as a performance major. I started playing. Yeah, thanks. I started playing the fiddle when I was 10, turning 11. So I've been playing it for about 10 years now. It's been quite a wild ride. As my dad was saying, there was lots of jams that would happen at the family house. It was mainly at my grandparents' house when I was born. I'd go to a couple of those jams, and I'd hear fiddle music all the time. And it was just one of those things that I was like, it was just such a regular part of like my family life that I was like, oh, every family has fiddle players and guitar players, and the fiddle is just in everyone's family. But that was not the case, because
it was George Young for me, but I mean George Jones for me, but yeah.
Yeah. It was very cool. It's very cool, and I was very fortunate to get to grow up in that environment. And I'm really grateful that I did. Even if I didn't go to all of the family jams, my grandpa, he would take lots of home videos, and every time that you'd go over, he'd be like, let me show you this video that I took of this jam back in the 80s. It was really great. So I would watch. Cool. Yeah, I would watch all the hours of video he had, and it was very inspiring for young Brianna Lizotte. So by the time I was around 10 years old, though, there was no more family family jams. There wasn't many fiddle players left. And I was just like, you know what? I was one of those kids that I would try something once and I'd be like, no, I'm bored. Like I do it for a year, like for bowling, karate, and like gymnastics. Yeah, I just quit. I was like, you know what? I'm done. That's enough of that.
Well, a year is actually pretty long. That's pretty good. I kind of applaud you for doing things for a year. Most times kids and stuff, they do things for about 2-3 weeks and then put it down. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. That was the condition with my mom. It was that was the contract that we had. If I
there was always the contract. There was always something, that fine print that you have to, you know what I mean? Yes. My grandpa was like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was if you're gonna try something, you got to do it for the whole year. You're not gonna quit halfway through, because like you don't get a refund. Yeah, you don't get a refund for the months that you're gone. You either pay it all and quit, or you just pay it all and stay. So that was our condition. So I was always one to quit after a year. But one day I walked up to my mom and I was like, Mom, I want to play the fiddle. And she was like, what? And I was like, yeah. And I was just introduced to band, to music. And I was playing the clarinet, and I was just having a good old time playing in my school band. And I was thinking to myself one day, I was like, you know what? I really miss the sound of the fiddle. And I'm like 10 years old, like just this young kid.
Oh, I long for the sound of the fiddle.
Years, yeah, just thinking like I'm a little cook of it. It's so funny thinking about it now, because I'm just this kid, and I'm like, oh, the fiddle. Haven't heard it in so long. But it was like one day I just woke up and I was like, I want to play the fiddle, and my mom's like, why? And I was like, I don't know, just because I like the sound, and it seems like a really cool instrument, and no one my age played it. I didn't meet a lot of young fiddle players. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to try it out. Just going to try it out for fun. And here we are 10 years later, still playing the fiddle. And I love it more than anything. It's what I do
What was
and
the first song you learned?
Pardon?
What was the first song you learned?
Oh, it's called Boil the Cabbage. It was very, very, and Mary Had a Little Lamb, of course.
Oh,
Mary Had a Little Lamb was first. But
we did have somebody requesting that you play a song. Would you like to play us a song?
I can.
Yes, please play us a song. I have a quick question though. Is the fiddle and the violin the same thing? I'm probably asked this question a million times, and I still can't seem to understand that. Are they the same thing, or are they two different instruments?
They're the same. They're the same instrument, but just the way you play it is what makes them. The genre you play.
Intention.
Watch me ask that about another 10 more times to future guests. Just
That's right, because you did ask Alex Kostork that too.
No, I wasn't there. I was in the delivery room.
Right.
Remember,
That's right. Never mind.
I probably asked him that though already, and jeez. Yes, play us something, please, Brianna.
All right. This is called Big John McNeil, and it's one of my personal favorite jam tunes.
Great job.
Yeah.
Stephanie,
awesome.
I'm going to like totally butcher your last name. Stephanie Harris Bordreau says, "Oh my God, that sounds awesome. Thank you so much."
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
So tell me, when you first started the fiddle, how long did it take you to learn your first song? Like, how long did it take you to, get to the level of where you're at now?
It's I like to say that it came very natural for me. And my parents will agree. If I don't know, I don't see my dad, but I feel like my dad would agree if he was
disappeared.
still here. He disappeared. He's gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt like as soon as I picked it up, I never had like that kind of cat scratch sound that very beginners kind of sound like when they're beginning to play, because the fiddle is very hard to get a really nice sound out of it because it's literally horsehair on steel strings. It's not going to sound the prettiest, especially if you don't know the proper techniques, which you wouldn't as a very beginner. But as soon as I picked it up and I played it, it kind of felt like home. As soon as I picked it up, as soon as I played it, I was like, okay, this is what I was meant to do. And it probably it took it didn't take me very long to learn my first tune. I learned everything by ear. really. And I liked that because it was, I found sheet music was kind of hard for me to keep up with, which is funny. But yeah, it didn't take me very long to pick up the instrument and fall in love with it. So, hello, Dad.
Wow.
Hey.
I just was gonna say, horsehair on steel strings. That sounds like a good song. Just when you said it, I was like, that would be a cool song.
Good title.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm writing it down.
Yeah, that'll be on your next album. Horsehair.
Sorry, I just got back. How about horse poop on my shoe?
No.
So Brianna started playing at 10, she said. And when she started playing, that kind of got you involved a little bit more in music again. So what was that like for you?
Well, actually, I knew she had something when she was a baby. She wasn't even 3 or 4 months old, and she'd hear a noise and she'd make that noise with her mouth, with her voice. And I knew she had perfect pitch back then. So we didn't push her into anything. We tried getting her into fiddle lessons at 6 years old, but that instructor and that teacher was a Suzuki teacher, and I made the mistake of bringing the camera one day and made her nervous, so she ended up laughing, and Brianna was such a touchy-feely little girl that her feelings got hurt. She didn't want to go back, so she didn't go. She didn't start till she was 10. And then she decided, yeah, I'm going to play, because we had lost our last fiddle player in the family, Roger, who passed away in 2008. So it took her a couple of years to decide. She was the one who decided she was going to pick it up and carry the family torch.
I do got to say, Brianna did talk about all these videos that your dad, Don, made. And I have to say, if it wasn't for your dad, there would be absolutely no video footage of when I started playing music, because my family didn't have money to buy a video camera back in the early 90s. And yeah, just thanks to your dad, there's actually documentation of me playing when I'm 18 and 19 years old. So I really appreciate that, what your dad did for the whole music community in Red Deer, because he captured so many people that were a part of that community at the time and that are no longer here. And those memories are there now for a very long time, as well as your family memories with all those other videos that he did. He showed me videos all the way back to the 60s. So, I mean, he's been doing that for a very long time.
Yeah, he started making music videos back before 1970, I believe.
Wow.
I made one when I was 9 years old, 10 years old. California Blues.
Mm-hmm.
So that one's still there. But now this was a big rigmarole. He had a Super 8, or not even a Super 8. It was just an 8mm camera. So of course there's no sound on that, but he'd record on a cassette. So his trick was, when he was doing his little show and he put up his screen, he'd have to start the projector and have someone else or two-handedly start the tape recorder at the same time. And that was an ordeal. But he was making videos back then, and music videos specifically. There's one of my mom, one of my uncles, Ralph. There was another. He was our neighbor for a while there, and he played. So he made a video, and my other uncles in the Native Sons as well, Howard and Roger and Crow, they've got their video as well in there. So
yeah,
I'm still making videos like that. I don't know why you were saying like back in the day.
He's got a tape recorder with him.
At least now we got sound, and we can use one machine just to press play. And
So
I don't know technology. You would think that I would know how by now. I don't know any. I can barely even like figure out where to connect a microphone cord, the mic, into the soundboard. I just figured recently that I've been playing guitar for like 20 years, and found out just recently that the head of the guitar is not the twisty knobby thing. If that's not what it's called.
The tuning key or the machine
It's called a
head,
headstock. I'm like, oh, right.
So that leads into my question actually for you, Brianna. You're sitting here with, there's 4 other musicians here, and none of us have any formal training. So can you tell us what it's like to be a university student getting a degree in music performance?
Oh, yes. So it's really cool. The amount of people I've been able to work with are people I wouldn't find in like, or who wouldn't I wouldn't find myself working with in my community if I weren't going to school. I've worked with people that do rockabilly music, who do like heavy metal music, and I've played fiddle over top of like rock heavy metal stuff, and I'm like, I never would have done this if like I didn't come to school. And just the different opportunities that opportunities to network with people your age, because not only is there performance majors, but there's recording, and there's just a general with education, or there's composition as a major as well. And it's really cool to think, because the people that I'm meeting in school are people that are going to be my community when we all graduate next year, all my friends and I. Like I have so many friends that are recording engineers and people that are wanting to be music managers, and people that are like really, really helpful to performers, as well as other people in the music industry, who make things run smoothly, like especially like just recording engineers. Without them, I know I can't record my own album because it would sound actually terrible. It'd be really bad. So really grateful for all the people that know how to do that stuff. But it's really cool to meet the people that I have at school. And then being a performance major is it's like you get to perform every day. It's really cool. I'm in different what they call combos, which is basically they just put you in bands. I'm in the country combo that they have at the school, and you're able to learn how to work in a band, and you work with professors who are professional musicians in the industry. So they give you feedback on on not only how you are interacting with each other as band members, because if you are not in a band, you don't really know how to treat each other, because there's a certain respect that you all have to, which I'm sure you all know, with bandmates. You need to treat them all with respect. And if you didn't have the chance to work with them, you wouldn't really know how to have that respect. You wouldn't really understand. So it's really cool, the opportunities that performance music school has really given me, because it's also a jazz program as well. It's contemporary music and jazz. So I did not know jazz before going to school. I actually hated jazz. Anytime I was like trying to be that quirky kid where I was like, jazz, gross, so gross. I'll never listen to it in my life. Now I'm over here playing like jazz standards because it's mandatory for school, and I'm actually enjoying it. And thinking to myself, I'd be like, 15-year-old me would be really mad. Would be really mad that I like jazz music, that I listen to it for fun. But performance school and music school is, a lot of people think, you get the typical question of like, oh, what do you go to school for? Oh, music. Whoa, well, what's the plan for that after you graduate? You get the typical like, oh, you want to be a musician. What does that mean? But there's some things that you learn in school, especially music school, that are really beneficial for when you want to take it professionally as a performing artist. You learn how to interact with people, and there's performance opportunities in the school for you to learn how to be a proper performer. and how to engage with an audience and talk, and also work with people and ask for help. That's the biggest thing that I've learned in school, is actually asking for help with music. I never did that before. I was too stubborn. I still am a little bit, but I'm working on it. But asking for help is something that I've learned along the way. And it's okay to be wrong in music. It's it's okay to crash and burn for a performance, because, man, the amount of times I have completely fallen on my face playing music and improvising, it's embarrassing, in an embarrassing amount. But it's really good for me to have those opportunities, because then you know how to react going forward, and you just know. Lost my train of thought, but yes, it's a really cool opportunity, and I've learned a lot of experiences.
If I could interject and just say that what I've noticed and what I know from being just a grab a guitar and learn to sing and use your voice and stuff like that. But what I could say is what you've learned is how to read and write music, how to arrange, how to compose, how to just be confident in yourself and in your there's no way you would have been able to improvise before. You've learned that a lot. It was a big one. And also it forced you to play piano once you had learned the music and the reading the music and stuff like that. So I mean, there's a lot of other things and big things that other musicians wouldn't have the opportunity to dive into and really learn unless they did all that stuff young, like even younger than you are. But I mean, you've put it in, and you're still young enough to learn all these things as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
And I bet you learned how to practice at school too.
Oh my goodness. The amount of, there's a whole class dedicated to practicing. It's called performance practice. And I honestly laughed when I saw that at the beginning of the semester. I'm like, performance practice? What am I going to learn in that? Well, you learn how to practice. And it's really funny, because when you're a musician, you always hear like, oh, practicing. Yes, you got to practice in order to get better. But there's truly an art form of knowing how to practice, and I've definitely learned a lot of great tips on how to practice, and that I because whenever I practiced before, I just kind of sit there, look at my music, and be like, that's good enough. I would never go like further than like playing a tune once through, and as soon as I got it, it was like, okay, I'm done with it now. I didn't practice scales. I didn't practice any of like the chord changes in songs, and I didn't if you asked me, and even if you ask me now, the chords to Big John McNeil, the song that I just played, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
well, now I. Well, it's A, I know that. The Canadian. But I wouldn't be able to tell you like what chords are within that song. I wasn't able to do that before. And with practicing, in order to know a song inside and out, you also have to know those chord changes, because then you want to know the relationship you have between you as the melodic instrument and your chordal player, whether it be a guitar or a piano or whatever. So just some of those things that you learn, that I've learned at school, is really cool. And practicing, yeah, I just thought it was so funny. There's a whole class for practicing, but it's really beneficial. It really helped.
Hey man, practicing it's important. Everybody's like, how do you do that? How do you learn how to play this and sing and do? Well, you got to just sit by yourself and do it. Like that's the main thing. Like there's a lot of alone time as a musician that people don't understand. Like when you're learning an instrument or you're writing a song or you're recording an album or whatever, you spend a lot of time by yourself, and you have to be a certain kind of person to do that, to invest that time in yourself.
Yeah, I always say that it's like the opposite of riding a bike, practicing. You gotta, or music, I should say. You got to keep it going. For sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, do you want to play another fiddle tune here for us, Brianna? Are you open to that? Or
yeah.
All right.
Brian, do you got your spoons back there?
It always like makes you want to get your feet kicking.
Yeah.
Like when I hear the fiddle, it's like it just makes you want to dance for sure.
If it's okay with you guys, I'm going to just listen in now for the last 20 minutes. My kids are actually they're standing at the doorway. they're like patiently waiting, like, Mom,
Yeah.
Okay.
All good.
So I'm going to listen in so I can catch the rest of the conversation. I really, really, I feel inspired. Actually, I was thinking of going back to school for something not even musical related, and now I'm like, you know what, this is the kind of stuff that I'm like super interested in. I'm not really a musician. I'm just gonna come out and say I'm not really a musician, but the music and the practice, I mean the singing and the practicing, like that's the one thing I would love to go back to school to do what you're doing. It's so inspiring. I hope that you know that you absolutely have inspired me today. And I'm going to finish listening in. I'm going to tune in. I'm going to listen from actually from my page now. And so I'm still here. I need to go attend to the kids.
Sounds good.
We'll talk to you later.
Okay.
See you later.
Play us something.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to play a tune called. Just give me a second. This is called Black Mountain Rag, and it's a really fun tune. I really like it, and I hope you like it too. It's a cross tune, so it uses a lot of drones in this song.
Woo!
Right.
Yes, that's awesome.
That is awesome. Brian, do you have a guitar there? You want to sing us a song?
Actually, my guitar's under my bed. It's not being very nice to me right now.
Okay, well, you don't have to. I just thought it'd be a suggestion.
Yeah.
I like to put people on the spot, Even when Bryce was on here, I even told him he had to sing, and he was like, "Yeah, right." He's like, "This drummer does not sing."
Did Brianna tell you the first time she ever seen you playing?
No.
Story?
No, go ahead and tell us.
So, I'm carrying my little baby. She's less than a year old. She can't walk. She can't talk. She can't do anything. But we went to Dane's Spring Rodeo picnic, and Trent and his dad, and I forget who else was playing with you.
I'm not sure.
I think it was Butch.
Or maybe Lloyd. If it was Danes, maybe Lloyd Schwark.
Lloyd Schwark, yeah.
Could have been him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
You guys were playing, and I was carrying my baby, so there's a good song come on, so carrying Brianna in my arms and going back and forth dancing, doing two-step, and all of a sudden she noticed something, just like this. He was just staring at Trent the whole time, playing bass.
Well, I have that effect on babies. They're like, look at how big that guy is.
No, she just we called you her first boyfriend for a little while there.
Holy, you should see Trent's face is pretty red here. Man.
Yeah, I think I'm getting more embarrassed than Brianna is.
Oh my God. That's enough out of you, Dad. All right, next question.
I told you I had some good ones.
Yeah.
Actually, my phone died. Or Leela, my other daughter, had phoned, knocked off my sound, and my phone died. And I couldn't get into the big computer, and now the laptop, I had to throw that, get back on there. So that was just to get back on was.
Well, Brianna was like, she was talking, she's like, I don't see my dad, but he would agree with me. And I'm like, I don't know where he went either, but I'm sure he'll be back.
Well, I'll have to watch the replay then and see what the points were that she was saying. But she's a very truthful and very good girl.
Yes. So, awesome. Brian, your dad, and I remember coming to your house, and Brianna was talking about parties and people jamming, and I was a part of some of those parties and those jams. And that's how you grew up as well. And like, I grew up in a similar way as well. My dad was a musician, and he would bring guys home. And I even wrote a song called At the Top of the Stairs, and it was about me and my sister would hide and listen to people play music till about 5 a.m. and try and get, be quiet, look around the corner and ask to get brought downstairs or whatever. But
whenever stairs are brought up, what happens, Brianna? Okay, stairs.
I always sing at the top of the stairs because my mom always. It's catchy. It's a catchy tune.
Yeah,
oh my God! You're just embarrassing me, Dad. Stop.
Don't worry. You can tell some embarrassing stories about your dad.
Top of the stairs.
No, it's true. She always does that. Whenever somebody says something about stairs or over there at the top, over there, top of the stairs.
After 4 a.m.
Next time I see you, I'll probably have to sing that. It'll burn in my mind now.
Oh, that is good.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. Hey, it takes a dad to know how to get to a daughter. That's awesome. Woo!
I'm so grateful, Brian, that you came on here just for the fact that you were able to embarrass your daughter. Because isn't that a dad's job?
Well, yes. And I love doing it. And she's very special, and she's been a light of my life and a miracle. So yes. A miracle that she's here to me for the stuff that I put myself through earlier in my days. I'm just fortunate and lucky to have two beautiful daughters that I have, and my wife who's still with me after 23 years and counting. So my first wife didn't last that long. I'll just say that. But, well, there was reasons for that too. I mean,
you're lucky enough to have two wives and 2 lifetimes then, because we all live multiple lifetimes in our life, right? We have all kinds of careers, all different things, but at least, you you've brought it together for yourself in the very end. I mean, it did take you till you were over 40 to move out of your dad's house, but sorry. You used to bug me about butterbean, so I had to bring that one up.
Did you share that butterbean story yet?
No, go ahead. You tell the butterbean story.
We used to meet in the Buffalo Hotel in Red Deer, Alberta, every Saturday. Even if they weren't playing, they'd show up, and I'd show up there every weekend anyway to go jam, because you go jam at the Buffalo, you go jam at the Valley, you go jam at the. That's 3 beer.
That was my music university.
that was our university for music. Yeah. And so I'm sitting there, and Jim's there, and my cousin Brian Elwood's sitting across from us, and I'm sitting between Big Jim and Trent, and I'm sitting there like, oh man, I feel small. Look at me. Big guys on each side, eh? And then Jim says, you know what? He says, Trent's gonna take up a new line of work. I said, oh really? He said, yeah. He's gonna take up boxing, and he's gonna set up a match with Butterbean, eh? Oh my God. I laughed and laughed. And then every time I seen Trent for the next 15 to 20 years, I'd say, hey, Butterbean's coming up.
Yeah. So there, we both embarrassed each other. But that was definitely fun times, Brand.
Yes, it was fun times. I just want to say that I really enjoyed being on your show, and I know it's probably gonna be the last time after that story. So it's been real fun.
Well, how about we get Brianna to do one more song for us, and then we'll call it a day here pretty quick. So, yeah. Thank you guys for joining us, for sure. The stories were definitely very fun, Brian, and I appreciate you being honest about my bout with Butterbean. I think I would have won. Actually, no, that's not true. Don't go out on the internet. I am not challenging Butterbean.
Hey, let's set it up.
I'm not challenging Butterbean. I'm not a fighter.
No, Butterbean's got a walker now.
Oh, maybe I got
have a chance.
All right, Brianna, what are you going to play us?
Man.
My song.
Which one is that again? Which one is that again? You got to remind me.
Maiden's Prayer. And you sing it?
Yes, Maiden's Prayer.
Oh, you can sing too.
All right. This is, my dad's favorite song. It's called Maiden's Prayer. I'm not singing it because there are words, but I'm not singing today. No singing will be had today. Okay.
right, guys, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And I want to tell everybody out there, I did an interview with Brian's parents and Brianna's grandparents, and I'll be putting it out on the Do You Hear Me Now channel here in the next couple of weeks. I just got to finish some editing, and you can hear a little bit more about their family history and music, and just check that out when the video comes out. Thanks again, guys, so much. We're going to end off here, and
I'll sing a song
soon. Yeah, I'll sing a song.
There we go.
Okay.
Awesome. It was so nice to meet both of you, and awesome. Really, really cool. I'm glad to see that we have a young Indigenous person that's educated in music and, you know, doing their thing. It's really great to see. Hi.
This one's for you, Brianna. At the top of the stairs, after 4 a.m. Wake up late and listen to Dan play with all his friends. At the kitchen table they sang Edgar and Jones. Just a couple kids wishing we were down in the kitchen instead of at the top of the stairs. Back when I was 10, hell, even way back then, I always dreamed of being a star. Only in that dream I was playing left wing. You can't score goals with a guitar. And somehow along the way I just had to sing and play. It was better than breathing air. And I owe that feeling to all that late night creeping I did at the top of the stairs. Top of the stairs. After 4 a.m. I'd wake up maybe and would listen to Dad play with all his friends. At the kitchen table they sang Haggard Jones. Just a couple kids wishing we were down in the kitchen instead of at the top of the stairs. Just a couple kids wishing we were down in the kitchen instead of at the top of the stairs. That was the short version from Brianna.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I thought Brian would get a kick out of that as well.
It was great.
So, Kurt, why don't you sing us On the Way Out? We got 2 minutes left. Again, you guys, thank you so much. This was so fun today. It was awesome.
Yes.
I'll cut this up, and you'll see some of the interviews of the funnier stories on Facebook in the next couple weeks. So, especially the Butterbean one.
That's all right, Mom. That's all right with you. That's all right, Mama. Anything you do, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Anything you do, that's all right. That's all right. That's all right now, Mama. Anything. Short versions today, everybody.
All right,
have
thanks,
a good
everybody.
one.
We'll see you next time. Thanks, Brianna and Brian. And like I said, look out for the video for their parent, the grandparents and the parents. I couldn't say it in the next couple of weeks. But thanks again, guys.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.